Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering book ghostwriting services, pros and cons. Lots of companies online promote their services and seem super professional, but are they really the best option for you? By the end of this video, you will learn the importance of transparency when engaging with a book ghostwriting company, where customers' money really goes, and red flags that should make you wary. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free resource that I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. The first pro when engaging with a book ghostwriting company is safety. There's safety that comes with working with the company. It seems more legitimate and credible than potentially working with an individual ghostwriter. It's easier for somebody to disappear on you when it's a one-to-one relationship. It's harder when there's a company involved. Typically, there's layers, there's more people in contact with you. So it seems like there's things happening. It seems like there's a level of professionalism involved, and that there's more peace of mind that comes sometimes with working with a company than working with an individual ghostwriter. But that safety comes at a cost. My first con is that you're not getting the most for your money. There are things that a company will pay for that an individual ghostwriter doesn't need. In order to promote my services, I only have X amount of money to be able to do so. There's a limited budget. If a company is promoting its services, it has more money typically to spend because it has multiple clients. So it can take client money and devote it for advertising and promotion and trying to get the next client. Ultimately, when you're working with the company, a lot of the money that you're spending actually goes to help them get their next client after you. A pro is connecting and networking. Lots of times companies have networks and resources. Maybe they have author groups that you can use to connect with other authors. Maybe they have book promotional services. They have other elements in place that can help you along the way. The biggest negative about book ghostwriting services is lack of transparency. I've heard so many horror stories, and not specifically with companies I've worked with, but other companies basically serving as content mills, where an author will provide material and content and an unnamed ghostwriter will work on a project for very, very meager earnings. It's not a great process, and it's not going to create a great book. A lot of times a company will also pair a ghostwriter with an author without there even being a conversation first, without there being an interview. It's so great to be able to interact with your potential ghostwriter and get to know them and make sure that there's a rapport between you before you end up engaging and starting on this book process. A big pro of ghostwriting services is that there are multiple writers that are typically available for projects, and they may all be considered for the project. Your pitch could be sent to an email blast, and then writers who are interested can respond and provide input and insight, or then you can talk to them or connect with them and see who's the right fit for you. But there's multiple options to choose from. Whereas if you went through an individual ghostwriter and you end up not being a good fit, it's basically just walking away. If you end up working with a ghostwriting company and you're a writer and you aren't a good pairing, they can always pair you with another writer. So there's other options to choose from that you wouldn't necessarily have if you worked with an individual ghostwriter separate from a company. One of the biggest detractions to this process is that ghostwriters that work with companies typically are working on many, many projects at once, meaning that your book may not be a big priority for them. It may be just a task they work on every week. They may be even reducing the hours that they spend on your project, based on the company's desires for your service. If you're only paying a certain amount of money, for example, and maybe on a lower tier of service, the company could actually tell the ghostwriter to slow down or to provide less material or to take their time. There's a lot of different inner workings and dealings that can really get in the way of momentum and get in the way of your project being done in the most efficient way. And one of the biggest problems is that ghostwriters are often working on many, many, many projects at once, 5, 6, 7, 8. There have been times when I've been working on 8 books at one time. How much time can I devote to each project? I would say that's 1 day a week at most, maybe 2 if I'm lucky. It's tough to know when you're overburdened with work and you know that you're not going to do your best work. When I'm working as a ghostwriter, I do my best work when I can walk around with the story a little bit. This isn't just about writing, it's really about thinking. It's about thinking and writing. And when you're doing your best work as a ghostwriter, you're empowered to be able to do both of those things. You have the time and space to be able to create and connect dots and come up with just awesome ideas about the book. You can't do that, and you can't spend the mental bandwidth thinking through projects if you're just cranking out content and just cranking out content and just on this, just all you're doing is churning out material. It's not that good. You really want to spend the time and make sure that you're devoting the energy to make this a great book. I've seen collaborations with book ghostwriters and authors go awesome, swimmingly, amazing. And it's such a cool process when it works out. I've also seen it on the other side where it doesn't work out and it's demoralizing. It's devastating, it's crushing. It really leaves the book in doubt. And I want you to avoid the tough times. I want you to avoid the struggles that can come with a bad collaboration. And as a result, I really, really, really want you to check out the next video. It's called How to Hire the Perfect Ghostwriter for Your Book. In that video, I cover where to look for ghostwriters, what to ask them if you talk to them, the things that they should send you, the recommendations that you should seek out, and even setting a fair rate and signing a contract. All of those things are included in that video, and if you're interested in working with a ghostwriter, you really need to check it out. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.